Wow, we finally get the end to the Class 1A versus Class 1B arc. Well, we still have one more episode of this arc to finish off in terms of epilogues and stuff like that, but the entire battle is done. And Class 1A obviously takes the W, and they are the victors. But here we get the conclusion to the Team Deku versus Team Shinzo match.
I thought it was going to last a bit longer.
I think after you kind of saw like the thing that they were doing with the whole how they were handling the battles, where it's like one battle is the introduction, and then the next battle is just the conclusion to that fight. You kind of could see the pattern, except with the Bakugo fight. But yeah, I honestly, to say the least, well, actually, let's say it at the end of the video. But we get the conclusion here, and you get some things to look forward to the future for some of our characters' side. Now, where we last left off from the amazing episode of last week was after Deku had finally, I guess retracted Black Whip, his new quirk. Essentially, it's become an all-out brawl between Class 1A and Class 1B's battling here. And essentially what happens next is Shinjo kind of pulls Deku off the building they were on, or off the ledge they were on. And that's when Ochako goes down with him, and that's when at first she's like, we need to retreat, should we? And then Deku's like, we can't retreat, we gotta stay here and we gotta fight. Otherwise we're going to lose. And that's when Deku asks Ochako if she can do something for him. Now, we cut over a little bit to Aizawa, Vlad, and All Might, and they're essentially asking, like, hey, are you going to stop the match or something? And Aizawa's like, no, I'm not going to stop this match. Right now, Midori seems like he's in control of everything, and I don't want to end the match because you can clearly see that all these heroes here, they're trying their best to win. And I honestly was like, good job, Aizawa. You're such a great person. You care. You care. He has a heart, everybody.
Why am I getting death flags?
With Aizawa?
Yes. Why am I getting death flags?
I don't know.
I don't know either. I don't know either. I'm getting PTSD from when I got spoiled by a certain YouTuber.
Don't say it, because most people are anime onlys.
I know. But I won't say anything, guys, but I'm mad at a YouTuber right now. I was just casually watching his video, and then all of a sudden he said something. I'm not gonna say it, but he said something, and I got pissed.
Now, going on, Mr. Yeah, we're gonna beat you shows up out of nowhere. And what does he try to do?
That was one for all, wasn't it?
Yes.
That was legit one for all. And that's when Deku was like, don't do it, Monoma, it'll destroy you and stuff. But Baraka came in and pins him down.
Yes. Now, Monoma, after she pins him down, says, I don't understand why the quirk didn't activate. Now, I'll go into the reasoning behind that. Now, Monoma later explains to Ochako the fact that how his quirk works and stuff like that. And the essential reason now, yes, he did use one for all. You could clearly see he was using one for all. The reason why it didn't activate and stuff like that, because, hey, it isn't because of anything. The reason why is Monoma essentially can copy the base power of the quirk, or what the quirk is. We know One for All has stockpiled years and years and years and years and years. So obviously we know Deku has it. The thing is, Monoma can copy the One for All quirk. He just doesn't have the stockpile ability, which means no stockpile, no strength added with that. There you go. And then two, he also mentions to Ochako later in the episode that if the quirk is too much for my body to handle, then it's just not going to work. So essentially the quirk essentially copying One for All just backfired on him and it failed. Mm-hmm. So it really did nothing for him. He can definitely look like he's using it, but he won't do anything because the stockpile isn't there, and then two, the power will be way too much for his body.
Yo, I was shook when I saw him like start sparking up like one for all. Like, when did he?
Yeah. If you're watching this and you feel like I didn't explain it the best, you can also put in the comment section and explain it better than I did to make me and even my co-hosts get a better understanding. But that's what, before we made this video, that's what I looked up a little bit before I did this to get a better understanding of how it worked. But there you go. And that, because Ochako pins him down, that kind of leaves Monoma out of the battle and stuff like that. Now, Mina and Mineta, they're in the battle against Shota, Kodai, and Yanagi. And somehow I remembered all those names without putting those in my notes. And it's looking like they're getting cornered and everything. But Mineta is just a sly bastard, isn't he?
Wink. I'm sure you would be doing the same, knowing you.
No, I would not. I would not. Although we all love our girl, Mina Ashido. For other reasons than her pinky self. Which, funny enough, a lot of people have been hinting out or been saying, from what I've been hearing, that Mina looks thicker in this arc than she has in previous anime arcs of this show.
Hasn't she always been that thick though?
I have no clue. What does Mineta do?
He actually lets himself get pushed back and presses against Mina's areas.
Yes. Shota does one of his twin impacts to try to hit Mina, but because obviously Mineta set up, had these, obviously his ball head things on this one little plate thing, and manages to block it, but he knew very damn well what he was doing. He knew the pressure, he knew the essentially blowback of him blocking would push her all up into Mina's chest area. And she's like, "You're enjoying this much, aren't you?" So that's when she spins him around. She just throws him around, and it kind of makes him go all around. It kind of throws them. It throws Class 1B all over the place, and they're like, "Uh-oh, what the hell's going on here?" Another thing we didn't predict to happen. Two, we also see Mineta says he placed, some of his balls all over the arena, so it could be an easy trap for these characters to get caught in, and stuff like that. Now, speaking of Deku, Deku catches up to Shinzo, and Shinzo's trying to, back off and everything, and he's trying to stall for time essentially because there's a plan that eventually tries to come to fruition. But one of the ideas is he tries to knock down these two steel beam pillars. But what does Deku do? First things first. One, we find out earlier too that Deku tells Ochako, like, "I can't use my quirk." So Deku is fighting full well quirkless right now. And now there was now I don't know if this was the animators thing because like I just said a few seconds ago, Deku was not quirkless. Why do they show the lightning streaks on Deku, usually acting like he's using one for all? Because I swear I read this in the manga, he was not doing what he was doing. He was definitely charging towards Shinzo, but he wasn't using one for all. He was just running towards him. And then the pillars come down, he's like, "I have to use it, regardless of my, feelings for the fact that I'm scared of using it." So I don't know if that's on the animators for messing up and making a blunder there, but he should have not been using one for all. Maybe I'm just nitpicking, but that's just me. So, listen, it's no big deal regardless of the fact. It's just a little tiny nitpick. So, yeah, but before the pillars, go down, what does Deku do?
Black Whip.
Yes, Deku activates Black Whip yet again, but this time he's controlling it much better than he did in last week's episode. Realizing that he has to control his heart to do this, like he's been thinking. And All Might's like, was he actually like just mentally preparing in his mind how to do this, everything? But obviously, eventually it comes to the point where Deku feels a sharp pain because he can't use Black Whip for too long. And that's going to be essentially the drawback of him using Black Whip at this point in time. Mention, I say, at this point in time. He cannot use it. Essentially, Deku cannot use Black Whip for long periods of time because, like it showed in the episode, he gets hurt. Not to the point he breaks bones, but it clearly leaves like a sharp pain in his, hands. Which he says that I have to train One for All better to be able to use it. So essentially, it's gonna be kind of used on the back burner now. I know, cry, people, cry. But like every other new thing, he's got to get stronger to be able to use the quirk. Do you like this reasoning for the fact that, yes, Deku unlocked a new quirk, but he's got to train this new quirk along with One for All to be able to use it?
Typical Shonen Jump protagonist.
Yes. What did you think of the moment as a whole? Did you think it was dope?
Yeah, it was pretty cool, actually.
Oh, we never asked you your thoughts on Black Whip as a whole.
I'm looking forward to seeing how it's used in battle, like in real battle. And like you said, there's gonna be some kind of war arc coming up.
Yes.
I'm looking forward to seeing how it goes.
Now, cutting back to Ochako and Monoma, he's kind of rambling on about some things, trying to get Ochako to talk because, hey, he still has Shinzo's quirk, and she even she doesn't talk to him. She at one moment he asked her a question. He's like, "How many quirks do you think I have?" And then she just throws up the 3, knowing that, hey, I can't talk to this guy. And Monoma's like, she's good. She knows that I have Shinzo's quirk, so I can't talk to him. So he's kind of antagonizing her and stuff like that, saying like, you don't know if there was a chance I had a 4th quirk and stuff like that. Just because I have 3 clocks doesn't mean I have 3 quirks. And stuff like that. And he kind of lures onto the fact that Ochako's like, well, it's funny, but, it's too bad that Midoriya might be in trouble soon and stuff like that. I just wonder what you're going to do. Either you're going to help out your friends or you're going to have to help out Midoriya. And that kind of gets Ochako with the dynamite like, oh shit, Deku's in trouble. Now she's running to Deku, but then that's when she realized, what do we find out, how Deku was able to get up to Shinzo?
He suddenly got air punched in some way? What?
No, when he asked Ochako to do something for him.
Oh yeah, that she takes care of Monoma and he handles Shinzo.
Yeah, but what does she make Deku do?
Weightless.
Yeah, she uses her quirk on Deku. But in the same time, Deku told her, listen, don't worry about me. I'll take care of this. You need to go do what you need to do and stuff like that. And that's when she realizes that, and she's like, I have to trust Deku that he can handle his own problems and stuff like that. And that's just this trust between these two relationships. Horikoshi, please, you have to freaking make these characters be together.
The Deku and Uraraka moments are really blossoming in this episode. And this arc as a whole, actually.
Yes. I just love the fact that Ochako, even though she wants to help Deku, she knows, like, I have to have the trust in Deku that he can handle this himself. I just love the fact that she respects his decision. Now that's what you call a great girlfriend. Well, they're not dating. I hope they date, because I have read a manga chapter where future characters end up dating, and that's not in Class 1A.
Don't give me too much hope, man. Don't give me too much hope.
Dude, I'm praying just like you that by the end of the series, Deku and Ochako are an item.
No one can say otherwise. Bite me.
Yes. Now, because of this, Ochako manages to go back and help out Mineta and Mina. But at the same time, Deku's chasing Shinzo. We also see that Deku's more comfortable now using One for All, because he doesn't have to worry about it. But Deku goes back to using One for All at 8%, which we haven't seen in season 3, essentially. But you get this really good animation shot where Deku is just, coming up there, and he's coming up behind Shinzo. But that's when a certain thing hits him. Now, it's a nut, essentially a little metal that hits Deku with the twin impact from Shota, which was actually from Monoma, as a way to try to knock out Deku. So if you were wondering if that was what it was. But because Deku doesn't have the will to lose and he wants to go beyond plus ultra, you know, that stuff, he manages to take the hit and he gets up in probably, I guess you can say, what people say, the most shonen protagonist type of way. And at the same time, when Deku got knocked out a bit for a little bit, the battle for Class 1B was actually in their favor. They looked like they were going to win the match because Mina was getting destroyed and then Mineta was getting beat. But then that's when the tides turn, when Deku finally reawakened and he's comes at Shinzo again. He does this really cool move where he grabs Shinzo's tape and then he spins around, wraps it around him, which I thought was honestly just great animation right there. He takes Shinzo down. Ochako actually comes in to take down most of the Class 1B members, takes down her copy in Kodai, which, funny enough, I found out that Kodai was originally supposed to be what Ochako was supposed to look like. The other girl that says release, if you guys don't know, the one with the size quirk. That was originally Ochako's first design, but then Horikoshi changed it, which would have been very interesting to see how that would have been. But hey, honestly, I like the way. Now, listen, Kodai, she's a cute girl. She looks cute, but I like Ochako's current design now. So yeah.
But now it's just getting me thinking. What if they never changed it?
Well, then you'd be seeing just a different hair-colored, you know, Ochako. So, hey, now, go on.
Would Ochako's cheerful personality fit that design?
It probably would have, honestly. But maybe Horikoshi's like, I actually want to make a more different, cheerful looking design. So, there you go. But fun fact. But Deku takes down Shinzo, and Shinzo's kind of just reflecting, and he's like, everybody here, they went all out, and when their backs were against the wall, they pushed themselves to the limit. And he's like, this is what it means by going plus ultra, huh? Like, this is the hero course. And I like the fact that he leaves a smile, because he's like, you know, I understand what these guys are about now, and stuff like that. And I do like the fact that, you know, he later goes on by the end of the episode, he's like, I just really wanted to do this to fight Deku and stuff like that. And we even see earlier in the episode how that's what he wanted to do. He wanted to have the rematch, so he wanted Deku to be like, you're great, you know. He wanted Deku to admire him. You could say, you know, he had an admiration to show Deku that he's much different and he has a respect for him, which I thought was pretty cool, which builds the bond and the trust between Shinzo and Deku even more. So where you could say that they're officially comrades, friends, and two people that have respect for one another and stuff like that. Shinzo in this entire arc has been incredible. I think we can't say more than enough how cool Shinzo has been in this arc. This was literally his coming of age story, and stuff like that. So I know we're not done really with this arc, but we'll leave our thoughts for Shinzo next week because it seems like that's gonna be the end of this Class 1A and Class 1B arc. Now, because of this, Deku's team manages to round up everybody in the prison, and that leads Class 1A to the victory, and they win the entire Class 1 versus Class 1B team matchup, and they're the victors and stuff like that. We have the whole type of ending scene where Aizawa was like, okay, what are your critiques? First, he asks Deku, he's like, okay, let's get something straight to the point. What the hell was that? And obviously Deku can't just straight out say, well, I have one for all, and I just had somebody tell me I got a new quirk. Obviously, Deku, he kind of just says, well, I don't know what that was. My quirk was just on the haywire, but at the same time, it was scared. But he gives credit to Shinzo and Ochako for their quick thinking and their quick acting and trying to calm him down and settle him down. And I feel like you're going to give that look about what Mina said to Ochako.
You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm thinking.
Mina.
She knows. She knows.
Oh yeah, she knows indeed.
She knows. She knows what we want.
Yeah. I going to that point, I just found it hilarious how Mina's like, oh, I bet you enjoyed hugging him tightly like that, huh, Ochako? And I just love the fact how she just looks up for a bit, she's like, and then her face, like a thermometer, goes up rising, and just straight up red. And she's just like, I didn't do it for those specific reasons. I just do that to save my friend. And a guy that I particularly like that I try to hide my feelings in, but I can't hide my feelings in for him. There, to this day, I still remember when she said that in season 3, and I'm like, those feelings aren't going away. You can say you can hide those feelings away, but you know what you want, Ochako.
Mm-hmm.
You want that one for all.
Stop.
Too soon? Too soon?
Stop. Stop. No.
Yeah, listen, I said it earlier, dude. When this end of this series happens, they have to hook up Ochako and Deku. They have to hook them up. Just do it, man. I don't care if it's the end of the series, you know, they're still in 1A or there's something like that. If the series finishes up that quickly. Which, funny enough, the current arc we're in, apparently I'm guessing is the final arc of the story. I don't know why. That's manga stuff. But I don't know if they'll be like, I guess, in their middle age or their early 20s and they're dating and you see that before Deku goes to save, or maybe they're like years into the future and they're married and Deku just goes off to go be a hero, and then she's like, oh, hey honey, where are you going? And he's like, go off, be the greatest hero that I could be. And then end episode over, series over, My Hero Academia, stuff like that. I hope they really hook these characters up. Like, please, Horikoshi, you can't tease me with these moments of Ochako and Deku and not come through with this. I'll actually be disappointed if we do not.
For someone who gets pretty flustered around girls, Deku's pretty dense.
I feel like Deku's not dense to the fact that he likes Ochako. He's just dense to what she says around him that can be taken as a romantic type of way.
Exactly, like as I said, he may be flustered around girls, but he's dense.
Yeah. I hope they just I hope they just hint or they say that they're dating, or we get a moment between the two where she says that she likes him romantically. We're still waiting for that moment. I'll take either or. I want the latter of the half to happen, even though I want the first part to happen. I want Ochako just to tell Deku out of the way to get it off her chest, like, hey, I like you a lot because I care about you and stuff like that. But I feel like that's gonna be something maybe in the final battle that she'll probably tell him, because there could be a possibility that he could die against maybe All For One or Shigaraki, whoever the final villain of this series is. So who knows? Yeah, Shinzo, he kind of goes on to say that, listen, and one more thing. I know I'm dwelling too much about the Ochako stuff, but I just find it funny that Mina is the only character in Class 1A that knows without a shadow of a doubt that Ochako likes Deku and is the only one that teases her. But I think that's just her character, because other than really the boys, most of the other girls know that Ochako has a thing for Deku, right? But I'm guessing all the other ones just don't tease her about that like Mina does. Mina's just gonna keep teasing her.
Momo is just too mature to tease.
Yeah, although I just wish Momo. I wish just if Mina's gonna do that, she needs to do that with the other girls that have their shipping mates. I would love to see her start throwing out stuff out of Momo saying, "Oh, you're very much into Todoroki, aren't you, Momo?"
They do have slight moments.
Yeah, slight moments, not enough. But maybe maybe Ochako should give her a taste of her own medicine in saying, But I thought you liked Kirishima. But technically, she doesn't know that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Honestly, I can see Kirishima and Mina hooking up, to be honest.
Yep.
They've been like friends since junior high. So, yeah. Anyways, yeah, Shinzo, he's like, I don't know, I kind of just did this for my own selfish reasons. I kind of really didn't do this to the hero aspect. And two, Shinzo also knows that he was being tested as well, which was pretty cool, and things like that. But Aizawa essentially says, like, listen, you did the best you could. Listen, the thing is this, you can't be a hero if you can't try to help people or save people on your own. If you can't do anything on your own, you're essentially worthless. And I'm guessing for what Shinzo did to help Deku calm down, the instructors, Aizawa, took it as a way as he saved Deku in that moment and he helped him out. And he saved others as well. And that's when Aizawa said, you pass. And I'm guessing that's when Shinzo's going to be in the hero course. Now for future Becker needs, if you're asking after next week, are we going to see any more Shinzo? No. But Horikoshi did say in a recent interview talking about the final arc, I'm not going to go into story points, but he did say that Shinzo might get some moments in this apparent final story arc of My Hero Academia, which is like, well, Shinzo may be gone for now, but it's good to see for me that he'll be returning. But Shinzo, again, we'll talk more about Shinzo next week, but yeah, we found out that he passed, so it seems like he's going to be in the hero course. I'm guessing he's probably going to be in class 1B more than likely, unless there's a class 1C. We don't know. But hey, we'll see what happens in the story for Shinzo going forward, and that's kind of where the episode ends off. And next week we're gonna get the epilogue of this arc, and hopefully get on to what people have been waiting for in this season is the My Villain Academia arc. Oh, not joking. In the manga, they literally sometimes title it My Villain Academia. You seem thrown off by that.
It's just, I'm like, I can't even tell if that was a pun or it's like a spin-off series.
It's not a spin-off series. It happens this arc for one time only. Which we'll be following our lovely Shigaraki, I Like to Decay Everything, and the League of Villains. But I feel like that's going to be not next week, it'll be in 2 weeks, which I'm looking very forward to seeing that. Definitely going to be interesting to see if they're going to censor some things, because I remember in the manga that arc did get pretty intense and pretty gory, from what I recall. Or very, not gory, but very graphic. So, let's see if it's going to be censored. My reasoning, hopefully not. But I understand if it is. I understand. But when we get to this part of the arc, I'm just going to say this. If you thought My Hero Academia was dark, you're seriously wrong. It's going to literally, when you get to the My Villain Academia arc, your whole happy-go-lucky My Hero Academia, that's going to be gone. It's going to get progressively darker with each arc following that arc. Right now, in the manga, we got something so damn dark that I was just like, My Hero Academia isn't what I saw from season 1.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, like every superhero show, there is going to have its dark parts to it. And eventually, to have a great superhero show, you're going to have some darkness in it.
Yep.
So, yeah, good episode. Definitely enjoyed this episode. How about you?
I enjoyed it.
So next week, we're going to get the epilogue to this arc and finally end off the Class 1A versus Class 1B arc. We do see Eri again.
Mm-hmm.
Good old little Eri with Mirio. Oh, I could hug her and eat her like a gumdrop.
Awesome.
Anyways, we're gonna get out of here, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this review, and put in the comment section your thoughts on this episode. And I need to get out of here because I'm getting too many notifications to my stupid phone. And hit the subscribe button if you want to get more My Hero Academia content. I don't know if I'm going to upload the My Hero Academia Chapter 315 chapter review today. It will more than likely maybe go up tomorrow, probably. So look forward to that, because Deku's still doing crazy damn shit. I don't know what's wrong with this kid anymore. He's getting too strong for his own good, and I just love it. I'm telling you, Denzel, when you get to what I'm seeing reading the manga, you're gonna be like, ah. So yeah, also I just can't wait for those arcs to be animated so people can finally respect Deku.
Apparently he's still getting hate.
Well, from anime owners, because they still call him the crybaby stuff, but they don't see what Deku's doing in the manga right now. Anyway, we'll catch you guys in the next video. This has been Camp for 15.
And the Red Wolf.
I'm signing out. Hopefully you guys have a great rest of your day or night when you count this video. Till then, guys, we'll see you guys on the next video. Peace.
Let's go to predict.